5-Year Mission the Podcast, Episode 47.
This episode of 5-Year Mission the Podcast is brought to you by Fansets, your home for all things pop culture pin related. Head over to fansets.com and see all that they have to offer. And also stay tuned at the end of the episode for a very special offer from us here at 5-Year Mission.
By now you figured out that this is the 5-Year Mission Podcast.
Welcome to 5-Year Mission, the podcast, the only podcast hosted by a band called 5-Year Mission. I am Andy Fark. I don't think I introduced myself on the last episode we did of this.
I don't know if you said your name or not.
I don't think I ever did, but
I think
people know by now.
Sure.
They know this voice.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so.
The 3 listeners probably know.
And yes, the sound you hear right now is 4 voices.
Yeah, speaking
4
of
distinct
3
voices.
listeners, I just had 3 people listening to me. One of them's Mike Rittenhouse.
What's up?
One of them's Noah Butler.
Hey.
The other one's Chris Burgeon.
Here.
Present.
Present.
Murray, present. We are going to do another episode of What Are Little Songs Made Of. Today we are concentrating on the episode, and the song ooh boy, here you go. The Alternative Factor.
Yay.
Oh my gosh, what was the quote I pulled up? He's death, anti-life. He lives to destroy. Which is basically what this episode is to me. It is anti-life, and it means to destroy me.
You know, it's funny because I find this episode endlessly entertaining.
Wow.
I do.
Do you do a lot of drugs before watching?
I just enjoy because there's so there's just so much.
There's so much facial hair to watch.
Oh, the bird's nest flipping around his face like it's alive.
Goes into so many different spots on his face and legs.
Oh man!
Well, from what I've gathered,
transcendent.
Chris has there are episodes of Star Trek Chris has only seen once.
That's true.
This
and
must be
this one he's seen like 50 times.
More than that, yeah.
Wow.
I have not seen it that many times, but I have seen it more than once, a few times at least. So yeah, I don't hate this episode. I mean, I am fully aware of
how bad it is.
the level of bad. It's really campy. I mean, even as Star Trek goes, but it also has one of the most, I don't know, excitable characters. Like he is so like, I mean, he's no Van Gelder, but he's still, he's. I mean, his eyes are pretty. You know, they're like. I mean, he's excited, man, and not in a good way. He's very excitable.
As you're watching through the original series in broadcast order, this is the first episode that's just not great.
Yeah.
You know, like I agree. Like
there's not much to it.
It's entertaining on certain levels, but like all of the episodes before this have like a significance. Like they're enjoyable. They have, you know, good whatever. Like this one, it's like the first throwaway episode.
It is
like,
a throwaway episode. I will give you that. It's you say on certain levels, but it's really just this one is very surface level. And I mean, the whole conceit of the entire episode are these two, you know,
Lazarus A and Lazarus B.
Yeah, Lazarus A and B at war with each other.
Little of Lazarus A, little
And
Lazarus
you know, the trippy scenes when they're kind of on
The
in between worlds. The
With
what?
The winking.
Yeah, it's
That's what they called on Memory Alpha. Winking.
winking.
In 1988, I think my family got like one of those like really gigantic VHS like home video
Camcorder?
recorders.
Oh yeah, like
Camcorder
the shoulder.
The shoulder ones.
Yeah, the shoulder
and,
held on the shoulder.
Did it have this effect on
and
it?
it had that effect. It was,
Oh, yeah.
Is it called solarizing? Is that what?
Something like
something
that.
like that. It was just
Yeah.
that negative, you know, thing, and it, like I would use that effect all the time when I would film something because I just thought it was so
artsy
cool.
and cool.
Oh, yeah.
Looked like a Jefferson Airplane video.
Or you know, second season
From
Star Trek
the Star Wars
episode.
Christmas special.
Oh, that's right.
This is First season.
This is
isn't it?
first season.
Yeah, this is first season.
It's the penultimate episode of the first season.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
That's right.
Unfortunately.
This is the episode you want to show as you're building towards your big climax.
Yeah.
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 And I'm not going to be the one to be able to describe the plot too well from my memory, so someone else is going to have to do
it's
that.
like
The songwriter.
yeah.
Right.
Hey, I picked up on the correct theme and went with it.
Basically, it's like the Enterprise comes near this planet, and then they start having this issue with like the dilithium crystals draining power, and it turns out they were like bait, like the regular Lazarus A, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee. Lazarus A is basically just like yeah, you're bait. You're the reason I wanted you to come down here. They're trying to destroy this creature down on the planet, and Spock's like, you crazy? There's no other creature down there. And it turns out that it's because it's like keeps switching through the worlds, like the two universes between Lazarus A and Lazarus B, and the matter and antimatter versions of Lazarus are just fighting each other for like basically control. Like, I want to stay in this universe. No, this universe is better. Oh, chocolate in my peanut butter.
So
Did you like that, Chris?
Yeah, that was good. Is that a Reese's?
Yeah,
Is that what that is?
Reese's reference,
Yeah.
the old double R.
do they really, because I don't remember, do they establish, is one more truly more sinister than the other? Is Lazarus A more sinister than Lazarus B, or vice versa?
Lazarus B is more sinister than Lazarus A.
But is he really, or is it just an interpretation?
That's what they're trying to figure out.
Okay.
Which one's the crazy one?
Do they figure it out?
Eventually.
And how?
They figured it out.
And what happens?
Noah's like, give me a hint.
Give me a hand, because I don't
You
remember.
wrote this song, Noah.
I said, I
He
wrote
wrote
a-
the song, but as we've covered before, he did not write the episode.
That's right. Hey, I don't watch Star
Was
Trek.
that Gene L. Kuhn as well? Gene.
Come on, Gene.
Gene L. Kuhn was responsible for the screenplay.
Oh.
He was not the writer of this episode, though. So the story outline was originally by Don Ingalls, which we don't see that name all that much. And then the final draft teleplay was Gene L. Kuhn and Stephen Karbatzos.
Oh,
Which I don't remember that name either.
Stevie C.
That guy must be the problem. There's a reason he only had one episode.
Old Stevie C. Yeah, so once they beam down to the planet, the Lazarus A is just like, yeah, you got to help me destroy this monster. And they're like, what monster, you liar? And that's when the whole winking thing starts, and they come across Lazarus B after he stumbles and falls off of a rock down towards them. Like, ha-ha, there you are.
One of them has
that.
like a scar on his head, right?
Lazarus
like
A,
a gash.
yeah, because Bones puts the bandage on him.
Yeah.
But then Lazarus B shows up. He's totally fine.
Nobody
Like,
notices.
what happened to your bandage? And it's like, no, don't worry about it, bro.
And why is your mustache so much longer?
And slightly askew.
Right. Oh God. So yeah, it's like basically like a dead planet that they're orbiting. That like Lazarus has been there for a hot minute, and finally his little experiment worked and was able to stop a ship. So like once the Enterprise figured out that they were drained, they were like all the other ships nearby. They were like, get away from this planet. We don't want the same thing happening to you. Yeah, it's just the goofiest, weirdest start ever.
And then like the solution is like they both have to jump into the same capsule at the same time or something to be in the winking solarized negative world together.
Yeah, the negative magnetic corridor. Yeah, that's some
Okay.
science for you right there.
Is that when they jump in, they're hugging each other?
There's a lot of
yeah.
That's
That's like that corridor basically connects the two universes that they're kind of going between when they do the weird acid live Grateful Dead flashback thing that just keeps going on. And basically both of them want to destroy each other. And so like if Kirk can force Lazarus into the corridor, Lazarus B can hold him there. And then Kirk can destroy his ship. Yeah, and it's... I can't even keep going on with this episode.
I think we got the gist.
Yeah, and then, what of Lazarus? What
What
of
Lazarus?
Lazarus?
What of Lazarus?
I always forget that's the final line of the
How's
song.
the
It's in there.
How's it end? What of Lazarus?
What of Lazarus? Bling.
Not the song.
Yeah, well, but the episode ends finally with the two Lazaruses. Lazari.
Lazari, yes.
Thank you for going along with Lazari. Lamerai. So yeah, once they fight, the phaser beam vaporizes the ship, sealing the two for all eternity,
that's
caught
right.
together between universes.
Tragic.
And
Very Shakespearean.
According to Memory Alpha, this is the exact wording for the end of the episode. Kirk ruminates on the fact that the two Lazari are going to be at each other's throats for all time, and wonders how it would be. Spock reminds Kirk that the universes are now safe, and then Kirk says, "For you and me, but what of Lazarus?"
And Kirk says never. What's he saying? Or he says at each other's throats forever. Is that what he says?
Yeah.
I interpret that as a never-ending hug.
Oh, Spock says, "Jim, madness has no purpose or reason, but it may have a goal. Not for this episode, it doesn't."
Well, clearly, I chose to write about the obvious themes in here, which on the surface,
What?
on the surface, it seems that there are two people who hate each other. But hate is such a strong emotion that sometimes it can be confused with love,
Yeah.
right? So these are clearly two people
They complete each other.
who complete each other, two people who are belong together,
They can't live without one another.
can't live without each other.
Yeah.
They're doomed / destined to spend all of eternity together.
Yeah.
They are, and so like that is.
Take this seriously.
I took it seriously, man.
I know you
I took
do.
it seriously.
With this sweet, sweet love song.
But it is, it's like just sometimes people who hate each other really love each other. The emotions are so strong that they actually it's actually love.
It's like an old
it's love that's
1960s
translating as
sitcom.
hate.
Well,
Yes.
one thing I love about this song is that one of the things that we like to do sometimes is make our own interpretation of what's going on in an episode.
Yeah.
And because there's a lot, we're watching for, 42 minutes or whatever, this story, but there's a lot of what if, behind that story, or what else is happening. And I love that Noah took this story that seems to be these two warring individuals and just made it this story that, they really want to be together. It's like they can't admit it.
It's a fighting couple.
Yeah, it's this abusive relationship, and they just can't quit each other.
I almost viewed your take on this song as almost like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of thing. It's like the movie, the episode is so bad that you're just making up your own plot line to it. And you're like, oh, they're not fighting at all. This is just love right here.
This was the first real what the fuck 5-year mission song. We've had a few over the years. I think each of us has probably submitted at least one.
Yeah.
Some of us more than others.
Within the mainframe, when you first hear it, you're like, what the fuck? What is that? And then but I think this was the first, because we didn't have any that were too bizarre.
I would say more artistic license kind of thing.
Well, just so far away from everything that we have done previously is what I mean.
Yeah.
Like the style of it, the theme of it, just the approach to interpreting the episode. Like, honestly, when I heard when you first sent this out and we heard it, I was like, okay, so where's the real song? I thought for sure that this was not going to make it onto the album in the way that you had written it. I thought, well, we're gonna end up rewriting this.
So basically, they're like is that how you got the idea for Wolf in the Fold?
No, I got the idea for Wolf in the Fold by watching the first 3 minutes of Wolf in the Fold.
I can't remember my initial reaction. I mean, I love it now. I'm always like, let's play this. Let's play this. But I can't remember if I thought it was inspired or just way out, like it was a joke. Yeah, because it could have gone either way.
It's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
Which is the crazy thing. Like, until you start listening to the lyrics and you've seen the episode and you're like, what?
I did push myself to find, like, as Mike knows and others know, like, I love those like weird jazzy. Well, are they major sevenths? Is that the technical name? There's some kind of.
Don't get too technical.
Well, yeah, because I don't know, but they're just like this kind of jazzy sounding.
We call them jazz chords.
Jazz chords, sort of thing.
They're probably not the chords that guys that play jazz use at all. They're probably like,
yeah.
What's that wimpy chord that you're playing?
But like most of the time, I only know like two of them.
Yeah.
And
this musical
in this
cotton
song,
candy?
I was like, I started it, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to keep going, and I had to figure out like 4 more weird ass jazz.
Had to make up some chords.
Yeah.
I started this, now I gotta finish it.
But like musically, my influence from that was, and it may not have translated into the final product, but as I was doing it, I was very influenced by a band called the House Martins, which was a kind of 80s British pop band. But they had, like, there's a song called Johannesburg by them, which is just acoustic with these very sort of jazzy chords, and it's kind of this sweet love song. If people who are listening have never heard it, go look it up. Johannesburg by the House Martins. It's a great song.
When they look it up, is it going to be this song verbatim? with like a little bit difference.
No, hopefully not. But maybe.
You know, like some of your other songs.
But it's that was kind of my initial influence, and then it kind of did its thing. And then there's another great song that I guess sort of there's a song by the Jazz Butcher called "Party Time," which is just a fantastic song, which is very, very jazzy sounding.
Well, I would hope by someone called the Jazz Butcher.
Jazz Butcher. But actually, a lot of their songs are not jazzy.
They're just butchering jazz.
They're butchering. But the song "Party Time" is a lot like that. And then once we did full band, I kind of wanted to try to go a little bit in that direction. And I don't know that it totally did, but that's what comes. You're influenced, and you try to create these things that are kind of in the vein of something, but everybody's doing their own thing, and it becomes its own thing, which I think is great. Yeah. which is like jazz. Yeah.
But that really is what happened with the song. 'Cause, like, when you listen to it, I mean, everything that everybody's playing is just different. Like it's like a lot of songs, we're all playing like the same chords or kind of following the same thing, and this is one of those songs where everyone's just kind of doing their own thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it all works.
And it works.
I don't know. I think I'm just playing a piano sound on the keys, and I think that goes along with the guitar pretty closely.
We were playing a real. You brought in your what is it, like your big old gigantic keyboard, like a real, like we weren't playing like our
the Rhodes.
Yeah,
that's right. We used the Rhodes on this. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then there's also the bell sound.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Did we play it in actual?
I'm not sure what we played that on, but it's
Was it on a Glockenspiel?
It was like
I think it was. I think it was an actual. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. I have a Rhodes stage piano. It's like a 1975. I forgot we used that.
Yeah. I remember when you first sent out this demo, I was like, I'm not adding anything to this. This is just going to be as is. I think it's just be Noah and a guitar.
Do we still have, like, I don't know that I have a copy. Do we still have a copy of the original demo of this? Just the acoustic?
I have all the
demo
demos.
Okay.
Whenever you guys send them to me, I put them in a folder.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're archiving.
Yeah.
I've lost too many computers since then to know whether it still exists.
Yeah, I have all the demos that I think I have them all. I'll have to look. Except for, ones like Year 4 Spock's Brain. I don't have that.
Oh, you didn't get that demo?
Nah.
That
Maybe I did.
That's why when we got to practice, no one knew what to do, and we just had to make some weird shit up. No one heard the demo.
Yeah.
That song was supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, that's why.
It was supposed to be amazing.
I know Patrick's not here to speak, but I know he plays bass on this, and I remember he was like, "Yeah, I like doing like a loungy bass. I can do this," and he did, and I really liked the bass line that he put on that.
Yeah, me too.
And then you're playing lead, and you came up with that little thing.
So
Very memorable little lead.
yeah, and I still remember that to this day. Like I can just grab a guitar and play it anytime. And it's one of the like my favorite little guitar bits that I've ever come up with. Just it's just so little. It's like so happy, and it's got that little harmonic at the end, and it's just I don't remember anything from the rest of the song. I don't know a single thing I played on this
That's true.
entire
I
song.
don't know what you play on.
But that part, I know it, and I can play it anytime.
Yeah, I don't think I would have to listen to the song. I don't remember my parts at all.
Oh, I don't remember. I remember the first two chords, and beyond that, like I don't remember.
I think we maybe only played this live like once or twice.
Yeah, I
think
can
we did it at
remember
Trek
we
played it at
once
Trek Fest.
in the heat.
So
Oh
weird.
yeah,
It was
Hot
100 degrees,
heat.
and Patrick
yeah.
cut his pants off in the shorts.
that's right. Because I posted that somewhere.
You
Didn't
did?
I?
Oh, that's
On
right. Yeah, I
Patreon.
think it was on
Yeah.
Patreon.
Yeah, because I
That
looked.
song specifically?
Yeah, it was that.
and it was just a, but it was
It wasn't a much of it.
it
was
was
like
it was
part
just
of
a little
It
part
was only
because
like half the song.
yeah, it started
Camp
like
ran
in the
out or
middle of the
something.
song or
Yeah.
something, and so I found.
I can't believe we did that.
Yeah, I can't remember if we have another recording of that or not, but we don't have any. Like we don't have a good solid recording.
I
of
don't
it.
remember playing it.
Well, we've only
another
played
time.
it once or twice. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We keep saying that, but I don't remember the twice. I only remember the once.
We may have played
I say
it at,
or twice just in case it
Just
exists.
in
In case it happened.
We may have
Because
played it at
Someone's gonna be like,
Starbase.
"You played it at that coffee shop in 2011."
We might have played it at like one of the like when we did the Storytellers or some other acoustic gig.
it's
Yeah.
possible. You're right. It's possible.
Could have done.
You know what? I
that.
want to say we did it in Cleveland.
That would have been the Storytellers thing.
Yeah, like
right?
Yeah.
like 2015, I want to say, because the only reason I remember the year for Cleveland was because that was when Trump was running for president, and he had a rally in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
like
that's
2 blocks
right.
away from where the convention was.
And none of us
And
took that seriously.
His motorcade came driving by, and I stood out there in full uniform, given the "Live Long and Prosper" with one hand and the middle finger with the other, as his motorcade drove
Yeah,
by.
and it
So
was
2015.
and it was
I
just
think
a,
we did that.
It was just a joke. in
I don't. You know what?
2015.
We have a recording of that Storytellers.
If
and
we did, it probably
it's
was
not in
just
there.
you playing it and singing it.
Probably.
And maybe I played my part.
No, we have that on video because we were watching that not too long ago.
Let's just suffice it to say we haven't played it very much.
Yeah.
So in the last little songs, we talked about how you challenged me to write a short song, or I saw it as a challenge because supposedly all of my songs were epic. Shore Leave was like 6 minutes.
No Friday's
that's
Child,
long.
baby.
But all my
Friday's
other ones
Child.
were like 4 minutes. Like not too terrible for a song. But this song is like 5.5 minutes
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
I mean, why didn't you just write 2 songs, Noah?
I learned it by watching you.
This song is epically long for
This song
Noah.
is 5 minutes and 20 seconds long.
Yeah.
It's I took after you and I wrote like one too many verses and one too many choruses.
It gets tiring.
Yeah.
Well, you have to use a lot more words when you're talking about a love story this epic.
You do. I mean, there's a lot to say. And
Yeah.
and I wanted to say it all.
Like right around the time when you think, man, this song's got to be wrapping up. That's when suddenly you're like, what's the matter? Antimatter. Like, and then there's another whole verse.
Here's a
after
bridge.
that.
Here's a bridge you didn't expect. And here's a coda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I expected it all. I was like, yeah, okay, here we
By
go.
the way, what's the matter? Antimatter. That's
What's the
Classic.
matter?
that's brilliant.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that was a great line.
Actually, there's a lot of like of like wordplay in the song that's really entertaining.
It is,
really
yeah.
good. Like, very ambiguous. See, I used it correctly, Chris.
Thank you.
Yeah, just in the first verse alone, Lazarus, there's solutions, but you never commit. Lazarus, you've been scheming, and I play hard to get. Come on, dude.
I know, right?
I try to include as much innuendo as possible.
Yeah.
You did.
If people were willing to
You did.
go
There's a-
there.
I just love the line, under the flashing lights we will dance and fight. And while we're so similar, the differences are minimal, but regrettable. It's incredible. Pure f***ing poetry.
I'm gonna quote Mike what he sent me the other night after he finished the last battle.
Let this be
Last
your
Battlefield.
Last battlefield. This shit writes itself. And that was one of the cases where it just did.
It just
was
flowed-
it just
flowed out
It was so
and-
easy.
yep.
It was just.
I love it when they do that.
And I was, I think, slapping my own knee a couple of times as I was writing it down.
I like it.
Got some more lines.
I'm just reading through the lyrics and going, what the hell?
Give him. I don't remember. I don't remember my
The
lyrics.
very last part of the song is as close as they'll ever be, with our hands around each other's sleeves in a holding squeeze of our bodies.
Of our bodies. Yes.
Of our bodies.
Do, 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 do.
It's funny because it's true.
I
Of
cannot
our
say
bodies.
you adding in the little part cracks me up every time I hear that song.
What's the matter, antimatter of our bodies? What's the matter, antimatter?
Yeah.
It's got nice
Lots of
flow.
interplay.
Actually, I remember recording those backing vocals, and I believe it was me and Patrick. And
Yeah, he's
What-
noted on the.
You know,
on the
I don't
website
think I
about
have any vocal on this song, do I?
you do
You do,
sing
yeah,
some of
for
like
sure.
harmonies on the verses.
Yeah, you do.
okay.
Yeah, actually, you sing quite a bit, I think.
And
I don't remember.
Yeah, you're credited.
It was
backing vocals.
it was weird because
According to fivemission.net.
we always
Yeah.
record all of our vocals separately. We never like sing them together.
Right.
And for some reason, Patrick and I sang those "What's the Matter" antimatters together, and we're like standing each on the side of the mic, like looking into each other's eyes, going, "What's the matter, antimatter?"
I wish we had video of that. We should post up the demo at some point on Patreon.
Oh yeah.
Because
Maybe-
I haven't heard it since I
Maybe we'll
sent it out.
maybe we can put the demo on on our Patreon
Yeah.
before the release of this episode.
Yeah, yeah.
Just as kind of a hey, our upcoming podcast episode. Here's the demo.
Yeah.
Because
that would be fun.
I doubt many people have heard that and be like,
Yeah, probably
it's,
not.
it's
No one's heard it except for us.
yeah. So then we can be like, this was Fark's vision.
Yeah, this was. It
Just
was
Noah,
Parks Vision.
guitar, and Noah's voice.
I'm not saying a lot because you don't usually
Have
want
a
to do
vision.
that.
No.
You're like, let's figure out a way to get drums on this. Real drums.
Real drums.
Real
Yes.
drums.
No brushes.
No brushes. No little clicky
And he's
sticks on
allergic to
some-
brushes.
I really am.
Andy, go ahead and throw out your fact about the Lazarus actor, which I thought was interesting.
Did you ever remember
Yeah,
that
hang
store
on.
Lazarus?
That's played out, Chris. Played out.
Not only for Patreon.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, I'm sure real Trekkies know.
Hey, you know what? If you want to hear what we're talking about, the whole Lazarus thing, jump on to Patreon. Check it out, because that's where you can hear that. The whole thing. The whole unedited version.
About the real Lazarus, not the character.
No,
The
I'm talking about,
department store.
the department
The
store.
department
No spoilers.
From the 80s.
They have to subscribe to the Trek Geeks Patreon,
Well, there you go. Do that too.
but also subscribe to our Patreon.
More importantly.
where you won't receive that story, but you'll get other cool stuff.
If you subscribe to our Patreon, we'll tell you the story.
I've completely lost control of this.
Back to Fark.
It's cute that Andy thinks he ever had
Isn't
control.
that funny?
Anyhow, real Trekkies may know, that originally John Barrymore was supposed to play Lazarus, Drew Barrymore's father.
Really?
But he did not show up. He just didn't show up.
Yeah.
And it turned out he actually got blacklisted for a while because of this.
I think I knew that.
Was he suffering from substance abuse?
No, he just didn't want to do it.
Didn't want to do it.
Yeah, just didn't want to do it. So when they started filming this episode and John Barrymore just didn't show up, they started shooting all the scenes or just around him, like where he was supposed to be. And they finally dragged in the actor Robert Brown, who basically literally just got tossed into this.
Who unfortunately did not have facial hair.
No, unfortunately. So yeah, he got dragged in, no rehearsal time, no nothing. He was just happened to be on the lot at the time because he did an episode of the TV series Shane on the same lot like the year before, so they kind of remember, and he was just kind of hanging around, and so they dragged him in here, but he was a working actor back then. He was in the classic film Tower of London, which is like a kind of a horror movie. Then he did like 3 episodes of Perry Mason, and he was on he was on one episode of Bewitched, the new Dick Van Dyke Show, Mannix, Columbo, Police Story, Archie Bunker's Place.
Dang.
He did an episode of Fantasy Island. Last thing he did was an episode of In the Heat of the Night. But the one thing I noticed going through his IMDb, and I'm assuming this is where the band got their name, he did one season of a show as the lead, a show called Primus. Primus, playing Carter Primus. He was a deep water troubleshooter, whatever that means.
What is a deep water
Hey, man,
troubleshooter?
I got some trouble with my deep water.
We got this oil rig and one of the legs is falling apart.
Can you shoot it?
We got this octopus causing havoc down underneath in the reef.
Down underneath in
Too
the
many
reef.
giant
Underneath
squids.
in the
That's what
reef.
your problem is.
Yeah, but he was a
Shoot him.
deep water troubleshooter called upon to solve a vast array of situations. He relied on a variety of devices, including a robot, a curmudgeonly friend Charlie, and the lovely Tony.
Oh, Tony.
That is all there is about this show on IMDb. No other actors, no other plots or episode listings, nothing.
I have to find this.
Wait,
show
was the
and watch
robot named Chum?
We don't know. Chum. What would Chum stand for, Chris?
It's, like he's deep water and it's sharks are...
No, what did it had to be an
it's
acronym?
C.H.
Oh, yeah.
Computerized humanoid underwater machine.
Oh, my God. That's
Hello.
so fast.
There you go.
We got
Right to the top.
we got to remake Primus now, apparently, or just continue on with the second season of what we think it would be without actually having seen actual.
Because
the
it probably
Primus
doesn't
show.
exist. We probably can't
Previously
watch it
on Primus.
Jerry was a race car driver. Drove so goddamn fast. Never did win no checkered flags, but he never did come in last. But yeah, and also the other fun little factoid that I saw was the dome of Lazarus' ship got recycled, and that is what is holding in the providers on the Gamesters of Triskelion.
Ah.
Yeah.
They
Interesting.
like to
Makes
reuse
sense.
those props,
Yes,
Props.
they do.
as you will see when you watch The Empath.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, one of Lazarus's outfit from the episode ended up getting worn by a background actor at the little dinner get together on a Journey to Babel.
But did they save the goatee?
I would hope.
What do you think Spock's wearing in Mirror Mirror?
Which version?
Did they save the goatee?
Which one of the 6 different weird beards?
Really, I mean,
Beards.
Weird
I
beards.
remember watching it. And I noticed, the facial hair would kind of move around, but then it starts getting thinner, and all of a sudden, it literally looks like he has a bird nest on it, like
Yeah, off to
under
the
his
side.
mouth.
It's so bad.
I was just laughing so hard about it because it was.
And it just changes in every scene.
It's so. I mean, you can tell that they shot it out of order.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, easily.
But what is it's just so funny. It just. It's the continuity is not great in that one.
I just want to Google and see if there any hits come up just for Lazarus's beard.
Well, and you know what? You know how sometimes, what is that? Oh,
That's a band, Lazarus and the Weird Beards.
thanks for coming out. We're Lazarus and the Weird Beards. Next up, Gorn Hunter.
Google just auto-filled it. That's put Star Trek Laz, and it just automatically Google filled to Star Trek Lazarus beard.
Lazarus beard. It's a really famous beard.
I was thinking about it, and I hadn't seen it in a long time, and it occurred to me, I'm like, maybe it's not as bad as I remember. And then I watched it specifically for that, and it was as bad as I remembered. It was it wasn't as bad, but it was still very noticeable that his beard shifts about throughout the episode.
Well, it's funny because
willy-nilly.
there's a website called moviemistakes.com, and they have a whole thing about the alternative factor in this. First one is let's see, both the positive and negative versions of Lazarus have a long mustache and fairly full waterfall beard until the scene in the briefing room when inexplicably the mustache and beard are both suddenly so thin they're barely visible.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another continuity mistake. Mad Lazarus has just put a black and white hatch cover over the stolen dilithium crystal in his time ship. It's in place when Kirk arrives to confront him, but a moment later, when Kirk leans in and is accidentally transported to the negative universe, the cover's disappeared.
That was Lazarus B, up to his shenanigans.
Yeah, apparently. There's a plot hole. Kirk knows that Lazarus is insane and that he wants the Enterprise dilithium crystals, yet he's not restrained in sickbay and is in fact given free run of the ship so that he can knock out the crew and engineering and steal the dilithium crystals.
Crystals.
This is just one. Lazarus's goatee and facial hair injuries are constantly changing.
Huh.
That's just one of them. Wow. Yeah. So obviously, if there's like 5 different things on moviemistakes.com, you know you messed up. And one of the special ones is his beard and injury.
Any other memories of this song, Noah? Any other thoughts before we go?
No, except I did
favorites
when I recorded the when we were doing video of it. You know, when we were doing videos of our things.
the edited videos.
I recorded myself playing it acoustically and in the solarized black and white.
Yeah.
You know, wink wink version of it.
In all of we. Especially back then, we made those episode videos for like almost every song.
Every song, yeah.
And this is the only one that has anything like that.
That I interspersed myself.
Yeah. All the other ones have just actual footage from the show. Yeah. This one you added that.
That's right.
I forgot about that.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Hey, do you like 5-Year Mission? And do you like getting exclusive content? Then you should check us out on Patreon if you haven't already. Over there, you can become a patron of 5-Year Mission, and that way you'll get all kinds of cool stuff that nobody else gets because they're not on Patreon. Things like videos and pictures, early releases, exclusive releases. We just put a live album on there recently that's only available on Patreon, and we have different tiers where you get different perks. You can be a lieutenant commander, you can be a captain, you can be an admiral, and one of the perks for being an admiral is that you get to be a producer on this podcast. Currently, our admiral producers are Neil Carpenter, Roxy and Becky, Carol Jones, Jen Tift, Helen Lake, Steve and Frankie Palopoli, Debbie Rinke, Madison Rachel Jones, and of course, Jim Morehouse. Your name could be on this list. Just head over to patreon.com/5yearmission right now and sign up. That's patreon.com/5yearmission.
Fansets.com is your home for all things pop culture pin related. Right now, you can get brand new releases from DC Comics as well as, Star Trek. They got the brand new insignia badges from Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. The fist-shaking Shatner Khan. Yeah, and you can also get the brand new Prodigy cast pins. That's right, the entire main cast of Prodigy in pin form. You know, why don't we get the ship in there too, fans? That's Bonnie Gordon would love that since she voices the ship. So enter in the discount code TrekGeeks at checkout, and you can get 10% off your entire order when you enter in Trek Geeks, all caps, one word, no spaces, Trek Geeks. Fansets. Our pins have character, and we thank Fansets for sponsoring each and every episode of 5 Year Mission, the podcast, for whatever reason.
Lazarus, I've been thinking, you're always on my mind. Lazarus, you've been looking, and I've been hard to find. Lazarus, there's solutions, but you never can commit. Lazarus, you've been scheming, and I play hard to get, but I know that the time will come, we'll both hide away, and you know we'll make it safe forever. Stay, it's the only way. All our days with each other. It's confusing, the passions of the heart. Lazarus, you reject me, but you are my counterpart. Lazarus, you're obsessing, I wish you didn't have this fear. Lazarus, you've been angry, but I really need you here. Under the flashing lights, we will dance and fight. While we are so similar, our differences are minimal, but regrettable. It's incredible. But you gotta know it's killing us. We gotta hide ourselves from everyone. As a pair we are so dangerous. I've overlooked all your transgressions. Try to understand, sweet Lazarus. Sure enough, here we are now. Screaming, and they all think you're mad. Lazarus, was made for us, where two men can be as close as they'll ever be, with our hands around each other's sleeves in a holy squeeze of a body, of a body, of a body, of a body. What Lazarus, what Lazarus, what Lazarus, what Lazarus, what
Well, as Kirk said to McCoy in this episode, sometimes pain can drive a man harder than pleasure, and pain was definitely the motivator in watching this episode again.
See, there's another like innuendo right there.
Ooh, yeah, Lazarus A in Lazarus B.
The pain harder than pleasure.
Givers of pain and delight.
Yep.
It all happens for a reason. And this episode happened for a reason, because that wraps up another episode of What Are Little Songs Made Of? We'll come back with you another time with a much better episode.
I still like the episode.
You're so wrong. That's your opinion, but I know opinions are just that. But man, that opinion is so wrong.
I'm okay with that.
Good.
I'm going to go home and watch it.
Gross.
I'm gonna go home and learn how to play the song again.
Good idea. Because we need to bust this one out live
We
again, I
actually
think.
do, yeah.
Don't trouble yourself.
I'm gonna go home and have a life. Nerds.
We know that's not true.
Theme song.
I sure want to live. I sure want to live.
Thank you for listening to this episode of 5 Year Mission, the podcast. If any of you are interested in listening to more of our music, you can check us out on YouTube or Spotify or iTunes or pretty much anywhere that you can listen to music. Just search for 5 Year Mission and we should be the first thing that comes up. If you would like to contact us in regards to the podcast or anything else that you want to talk to us about, you can email us at 5yearmissionband@gmail.com.
And for more information about the band, you can go to 5yearmission.net. And also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
5 Year Mission, the podcast, is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network at trekgeeks.com or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.
This has been a Classic Rittenhouse production.